about a $16,000 grant you could get from the IRS. That's why people, they're really called tax credits, but they're not anymore. And you don't even have to file taxes almost to get what you have to file because that's where it comes from. But you don't have to owe taxes. And this is really for childcare and dependent care. So if you have a senior in the house or somebody with a disability that you're taking care of, that's to pay these expenses too. And what it is, they'll pay half of your expenses, like for childcare. So paying $10,000 a year or $20,000 a year nowadays is not unheard of for childcare, and they'll pay. The government will give you a grant up to $16,000 per pay for that, no matter how big or small your income is, but you have to be earning some income. And that's the important part. It's amazing to me because what they have is that you could have income up to $438,000 and still get this grant. How much you get depends. But $438,000. Now that's poor in this country. I guess it is to some people. Oh, I didn't make $1 million this year. Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, I get help for childcare. Crazy. Anyway, ours is not the reason why. It's just to tell you what the heck is here. Okay, so it basically is. It gets grants to pay for 50% of your caring expenses. Okay, and why can you get this? If you're caring for somebody under the age of 13, so you have a child, so that's for their daycare or summer camps, all this kind of stuff, or be unable to care for themselves if they're 13 and older. So you have somebody in your household, that can't care for themselves, so need help. So if you have a spouse or an older dependent who is impaired or incapable of caring for themselves and has lived with you for more than half a year, so then you get this money too. Or you could be physically or mentally incapable of self-care, even if their income was $4,300 or more. I don't understand that. but you get the basic things. The kind of things that cover it, mostly for child care kinds of expenses. But if you have someone you're caring for, a relative or someone who's disabled in the house, the expenses. So you get somebody in to care for them. That's an expense you could pay. They'll pay 50% of that. All these kinds of things, or you send them to an outsource somewhere to entertain them for a day or so. You could pay for that too. Okay. Also, babysitter, inside or outside, before or after school extended day programs, custodial child care or elder care expenses. See, that's what that is. Day camps, daycare centers, household employee whose services include care for a qualified person. Okay, so that means somebody's a house cleaner, but they also take care of, Mabel, who can't get around much. So you could write that off too. Late pickup fees, looking for work expenses. That's interesting. Nanny expenses, preschool and nursery school for pre-kindergarten. Sick child care center. Child can't go to school, so you have to send them to I don't know, a sick child care center. I don't know them, but I'm sure there are. Summer day camps. Okay, how much can you get? $16,000. Okay, that's the grant they send you. And the difference between, they had this before, it's always been there, the child care tax credit, but it used to be only up to $6,000. And it was not as high of income either. But they also only paid you if you paid taxes. So in other words, you could only get $6,000 if you owed the government $6,000. So if you only owe the government, $5,000 in taxes, you would only get $5,000 from the government, and you wouldn't have to pay tax. If you only owe the government 1,000 taxes, but you spent $6,000 in childcare, you still only get $1,000. But that's old school. New school, when you file next year, it's all different. It doesn't matter how much taxes you owe or don't owe. You're going to get that money. So you get the money, honey. It's like the child care tax credit, same thing. And here's a great link. I'll put this in the, what do you call it, in the description. You can see it's a link that computes, like, okay, how much do I make? Oh, maybe I only make $120,000, maybe only make $58,000, and just go back and it shows you how much you get, and, all that kind of thing. Okay, how much you spend on childcare? Maybe you spent, $6,000 or something like that. Okay, how much you get? 3,200. So you get half of it. See, before you used to only get 600. Now you get 3,200. So this is a big change, man. So that's why this stuff is important. And you don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to owe taxes to get it. And that's a very important, part of this. Let's see. What do we got next here? Okay. Now, how do you file for this? Okay. Yeah. You don't call the IRS. Hey, Charlie, what office are you in the IRS? Hey, send me one of those grant things. No, basically you have to do that, but you can't call. You got to fill out a form. And here's the form. When you fill out your taxes, it's a 2441 form, but they don't have the 2021 yet. This is like for last year. So for the one that's going to get the big, this is only get like a fraction of what you're going to get this time. So to get the big one, you probably got to wait a few weeks until the first of the year or so when they have the new forms for the 2441. But here's the link. Here's the link that describes the forms and stuff like that. So you just fill out that form with your taxes and you say, well, oh shit, this is a pain in the ass. I don't know how to do it. Okay, there's a lot of free help for that. Okay, if you need help with your taxes. First of all, let me go. Okay, get your taxes filed for free. Okay, the government pays nonprofit organizations to help you fill your taxes for free. Okay, and you could be making income up to $72,000, and they'll do it all free for you. Okay, and here's how to file it. Here it shows you how to find these people, and it's it's all free. Don't go on IRS or H&R Block and all these people. They're going to charge you a couple $100, and then promise you won't get audited. Forget it. Just do this. Then they'll try to lend you money, because you're going to get a refund, and they charge you outrageous income fees on the money. And it seems like free money to you because you didn't have it, but no, they're making a fortune off of it. Okay, so that's the free help. Okay, so they do it for free. And then the VITA counseling. Okay, these are the nonprofits, actually, I was talking about. And they do the same thing. And it shows you how to get the local center near you. There's an 800 number, 800-906-9887. You can call them and say, hey, can I make an appointment somewhere to get free tax help? Now, sometimes you got to go wait in line or make an appointment. It varies. And particularly with COVID last year, who knows what it's going to be like this year. Okay. Now, another place is go to 211 or find help. Now, I looked at 211 for tax help around me where I lived in Maryland. Man, there's like 50 free places to get taxes done for free, in Maryland. So you call, say what their schedule is, how do I do it, things like that. So if you really want to sit down, you can struggle with yourself and just do it. I mean, that's what I do. Okay? Once you learn it once, what to do is you go to them once and they do it, and then you just copy it for next year. Nothing much changes them. And then the other one is find help. And this is interesting too. I went to find help to see what that, because 211.org and findhelp.org are the same kind of services. 211 you could call on the phone, but you can't call for tax help. You call and say, hey, where to go? And they tell you where to go. Sort of like me. I love telling people where to go. But here on Money and Tax Preparation, only 4 offices here for tax preparation and find help. So that's why it goes. They're good at some other things and things like that. Help paying for healthcare. They have 281 sources here. So it all depends. So that's why I say go to both and see what happens. So that's how to get $1,600 in grant from the IRS. It's a tax credit, they call it, but it's you don't have to pay taxes to get it. You don't have to owe taxes to get it. And the links will be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And all the links are here. And so you get the form, you fill out with your normal taxes, or you call one of these free services to make sure you get it. Okay, that's another 16 grand. And if you have 1 child versus 2, that's for 2 children or more. So it's half that. You get 8 grand. That's still big money.